Do you believe that a 6-year-old girl can change the fate of a paralyzed, death-sentenced dog? That at the moment when all doors seem to be closed, there is still a miracle waiting to be opened? This is the story of Charlie, a dog who used to run around freely, but after a fateful accident, he lost everything. Unable to walk, without hope, he was put on the euthanasia list. But when everyone had given up, a little girl stood up and said, "Not yet. Charlie still has a chance." What happened next? Can a naive dream change fate? Before we continue, comment where in the world are you watching this video. And if you believe in touching stories, don't forget to subscribe now, because tomorrow there will be a special story for you. Charlie is more than just a dog. He is the pride and joy of his family. A golden retriever with a coat as golden as the morning sun, intelligent, agile, and full of life. Charlie is more than just a pet. He is a champion. From a young age, Charlie has been a star in dog competitions. He can jump through hoops of fire, catch flying discs in the air with incredible precision, and even understand complex commands with just a glance from his owner. He is more than just a dog. He is a warrior and a loyal companion that anyone would love to have. But life always has unexpected turns, moments that change everything in a split second. It is a cold winter day in the Colorado suburbs. The sky is covered in white snow, and the space is strangely quiet. Charlie runs around the backyard, chasing the ball that little Lily has just thrown. It was a normal morning, a moment that seemed like nothing special, until everything changed forever. In a split second, a fateful slip took everything away. Charlie chased after the ball, but didn't realize that the ground below had become slippery after a heavy snowfall overnight. As he jumped high, his body as graceful as ever, the unexpected happened. He landed on an icy slope, completely out of control. It was like a slow-motion movie. Charlie slid, his legs scraping the snow, trying to find a grip, but it was no use. He plummeted down the slope, rolling through layers of icy snow and slamming his body into sharp rocks. A scream of pain tore through the still air. Lily screamed. The family rushed over in panic, but when they found Charlie at the bottom of the slope, he was lying motionless. You've probably seen that moment when all hope seems lost. When someone you love, once strong and proud, lies there, helpless, unable to lift a finger. It's the moment when the worst thoughts begin to creep into your mind. Charlie can no longer feel his legs. He looks up at his owner with bewildered eyes, not understanding what's happening. Why can't he stand? Why are the legs that once carried him to victory, that helped him jump high and run far, now so hopelessly immobile? Lily kneels beside Charlie, tears streaming down her cheeks. She strokes his head, whispering in panic, "Charlie, you'll be okay, right?" But no one answers. Charlie is rushed to the veterinary hospital. Dr. Matthews, who has cared for dogs for over a decade, stands in front of the X-ray screen, brooding. The black and white lines revealed a heartbreaking truth. Charlie's spine was badly damaged. "We did everything we could," the doctor said, his voice low. "But the damage was too severe. He will never walk again." The words were like knives stabbing at the family's hearts. Lily looked at Charlie, her eyes filled with confusion and fear. A dog born to run, to jump, to explore the world, now imprisoned in his own body. But the worst was yet to come. The discussions took place behind closed doors. Keeping a paralyzed dog was not only a financial burden, but also an emotional one. Charlie couldn't go to the bathroom on his own, couldn't move on his own. Canine depression was real, and dogs who lost their mobility often fell into a state of depression. There is one option that everyone avoids, but no one dares to speak up: euthanasia. "Let him go in peace," said one. "It might be the most humane thing we can do." How can a life that once shone like the sun be extinguished by a single moment of error? A dog that was once a pride, a friend, a hero, now just another name on the list of dogs about to be eliminated. But can anyone accept this? Does anyone believe that Charlie still has a chance? That miracles can still happen? What do you think? If it were your dog, what would you do? If you also believe Charlie deserves a chance, please give this story a like. A like shows that there is still hope, and that sometimes a strong heart can do the impossible. And one person believed, a 6-year-old girl with a heart full of love and patience. She refused to give up, and that's when the magic began. There are moments in life when we all face helplessness. When people around us tell us there is no hope, when all doors seem closed, do we choose to give up or find a new path? Charlie couldn't speak, but his eyes said it all. He looked at Lily with a sad gaze, no longer joyful, no longer eager to see her approaching. He couldn't run to her like he used to, couldn't jump for joy, couldn't wag his tail excitedly. But there was one thing Charlie still had: a connection to Lily. Lily could never forget that day. The day she knelt beside Charlie, wrapped her arms around him, and felt her best friend's weak breathing and trembling heartbeat. The adults said that Charlie had no hope, that it would be better to let him rest. But how could Lily believe that? How could she give up when Charlie was still there, still breathing, still looking at her with those pleading eyes? Lily knew she had to do something. In the days that followed, while the adults were busy discussing Charlie's fate, Lily spent all her time with him. She sat on the floor, gently stroking his golden fur, which had gradually become matted from the days of being bedridden. She told Charlie about the days when he used to run around, about the competitions he had won, about the moment he had jumped to catch a flying disc in the air while everyone cheered. "Remember, Charlie?" Lily whispered. "You were the bravest dog I ever knew, and I don't believe you'll ever lie still like this." Charlie didn't answer, but he gently rubbed his head against Lily's hand, and that was the moment everything changed. Lily began to watch. She noticed that, even though she couldn't stand up, Charlie's legs would twitch slightly whenever he tried to move. Not much, but enough for her to realize he hadn't given up. An idea suddenly flashed through Lily's mind. If people could use wheelchairs to get around, why couldn't Charlie have the same chance? If people who had lost their mobility could regain it with assistive devices, why couldn't Charlie try? Lily rushed to her mother, the only person she believed could help her make this idea a reality. "Mom, Charlie can't walk, but that doesn't mean he'll never walk again, right?" Lily's mother, a biomedical engineer, paused at her daughter's question. She was used to groundbreaking inventions, but she never thought her daughter would be the one to come up with an idea like this. "What do you mean, Lily? If humans can use wheelchairs, why can't we make something like that for Charlie?" Lily pulled her mother into the room where she had scribbled a simple device on paper, a wheeled frame that would allow Charlie to stand and move using the strength of his front legs. Lily's mother looked at the drawing. Something inside her stirred. It wasn't just a childish idea. It was hope. "Lily." Her mother sat down, her eyes soft but thoughtful. "Do you know how hard this will be? Charlie might not be used to it. He might be scared. He might..." fail. But at least he'll have a chance, Lily almost shouted. If you don't try, he'll never know if he can do it. How could a 6-year-old think of something like this? How could a small heart have such strong faith? Lily said nothing more. She looked at her daughter, then at Charlie, still lying there, but with brighter eyes than before. She knew what she had to do. Within a few days, Lily had gathered a group of friends, including mechanical engineers and veterinarians. They researched mobility aids for animals, adjusting the size and calculating every detail to suit Charlie. Lily didn't miss a moment. She watched, listened, and even painted the words, "Charlie will run again," on the frame of the wheelchair herself. But would it work? Could Charlie, the once strong dog, now used to lying still, learn to stand up again? If you believe Charlie deserves a chance, if you believe that hope can change fate, please give this story a like. Let's prove that sometimes it's the little hearts that can create big miracles. Because even when everyone else gave up, there was still one little girl who refused to give up. And that's how the miracle began. There are moments in life when we think everything is over, that the road ahead is just a dead end. But sometimes, just a small ray of hope, a helping hand, can change everything forever. Charlie used to be a fighter, but after the accident, he was just a shadow of himself. People said his life was over, but Lily didn't believe it, and she did the unexpected. After seeing Lily's drawings, her mother knew she couldn't stand still. Although this might have been impossible for many, she saw something in her daughter's eyes. A determined fire, a strong belief that Charlie could be saved. She started contacting her colleagues, experienced biomedical engineers, and veterinarians. No one had ever tried to build a specialized wheelchair for a dog like Charlie before. But if humans can use technology to help paralyzed patients, why can't animals have a chance? In the following days, Lily barely left the workshop. She watched as each piece of metal was cut, and each wheel was adjusted to accommodate Charlie's weight. Every detail had to be carefully designed, because if the equipment wasn't right, Charlie might never learn to use it. There were times when the process almost reached a dead end. Some of the initial designs weren't sturdy enough. Others were too heavy for Charlie to move. But every time there was a problem, Lily stood up, her eyes more determined than ever. "Just try again, Mom. Charlie won't give up, and neither will I." How could a 6-year-old girl be so strong? How could a small heart hold on to the faith that even adults had gradually given up? That day, the sun filled the garden. The special wheelchair was ready. It was made of lightweight alloy, had soft padding to protect Charlie's lower body, and most importantly, it supported his weak back, allowing him to move, using only his front legs. But there was a problem. Charlie didn't understand what was happening. When he was placed in the wheelchair, he curled up, trembling. His eyes were wide with confusion. His ears were flat with worry. He had never faced anything like this before. Lily knelt, placing her small hand on Charlie's back. "It's okay, Charlie. You can do it." She handed him a familiar object, the flying saucer they used to play with. "Do you remember? You used to chase it like the wind. You used to jump higher than anyone. Now I need you to believe that you can do it." Charlie looked at Lily, then at the flying saucer. A distant memory flashed through his mind. Everyone held their breath. Would he take a step? At first, he stood still. But then, as if by reflex, he tried to lift one front leg. The machine moved a little. Lily cried out, her eyes shining. "You did it, Charlie. Try one more step." Charlie hesitated, but then lifted his leg again. And this time, the machine rolled forward. One step, then two. The first steps, though clumsy, carried great meaning. No one could believe their eyes. Tears of joy streamed down Lily's mother's face. A veterinarian nodded silently, as if he had just witnessed a miracle. And Lily? She smiled brightly, her laughter ringing like bells on a summer day. "You did it, Charlie." In the following days, Charlie continued to practice. At first, he fell a lot, and at times, he almost wanted to give up. But Lily was always there, patient, encouraging, and giving him strength. He gradually learned to move, from slow steps to faster running. And then, one afternoon, in the bright sunlight, Charlie did what no one thought was possible. He ran. No longer slow, no longer afraid, Charlie rushed forward in his wheelchair, his front legs as strong as ever. He didn't need anyone to push him, didn't need anyone to support him. He did it. At that moment, the entire ward burst into tears. The doctors, who had doubted him, could not hold back their tears. Charlie's story quickly went viral. The video of Charlie's first steps was posted on social media, and in just a few days, millions of people watched it, and millions of hearts were touched. The comments flooded in. "This is incredible. Lily and Charlie have proven that miracles do happen. I cried when I saw him walk. I hope this story helps other dogs have a chance at life." And then, another miracle happened. The device Lily and her mother created was no longer just for Charlie. It became hope for thousands of other dogs across the country. Paralyzed dog owners, rescue centers, veterinary medical organizations. Everyone started reaching out to ask to use the device. They named it Wheels of Hope. From a 6-year-old girl's dream, it has now become an invention that has saved countless lives. And it all started with a belief that nothing is impossible. If you believe that every life deserves a second chance, if you believe that love and perseverance can create miracles, please like this story. Because you too can be the one who brings hope to someone. Some stories seem to have ended, but in reality, they are just the beginning of a new chapter. A year ago, Charlie was considered a hopeless dog, a life that seemed to have reached its end. But today, he is doing something no one could have expected. Charlie is not just walking. He has a new mission, a meaning that is greater than just survival. The sun shines brightly on the campus of the Hope Therapy Center, where Charlie was once almost given up. But now, this place is no longer just a place for forgotten animals. It has become a place of rebirth, a center for both dogs and people looking for a second chance. And Charlie is the soul of this place. Every morning, he walks out into the large garden, his 2 strong front legs controlling his special wheelchair, his golden tail wagging in the sunlight. He is no longer a dog tied down by the past, but a companion for those who are learning to overcome themselves. Children with mobility disabilities, and children who are afraid of life's challenges, all find in Charlie an endless source of encouragement. There is a boy named Ethan, 9 years old, who had an accident and has been in a wheelchair for the past 2 years. Ethan used to refuse all therapy sessions, withdrawing into his world, believing that he would never be able to walk again. But then he met Charlie. At first, Ethan did not want to touch the dog. He just watched silently from afar, seeing Charlie running around in his small wheelchair, seeing that he was not sad or giving up. Day by day, the boy gradually opened his heart. One afternoon, Ethan reached out and touched Charlie's soft fur. "I think Charlie is sad that he can't run like before," the boy asked hesitantly. The therapist smiled. "What do you think?" Ethan was silent for a long moment. Then he whispered, as if to himself, "I think Charlie chose to move forward." A week later, Ethan tried to stand for the first time since the accident, and Charlie was right there, his eyes full of encouragement. That 9-year-old boy wasn't the only child Charlie had helped. There was also Sophie, who had been through a fire and lost her family. She didn't believe in love, didn't believe that there was anything good in the world. But then one day, Charlie slowly walked up to Sophie and looked up at her with gentle eyes. He didn't say anything, didn't try to force her to smile or change. He was just there, like a message saying, "I understand you. I've been hurt. I've been scared, but I'm still here, and you'll be okay." From then on, Sophie began to smile again. There are wounds that humans cannot heal, but sometimes another life, a dog, a friend, can work miracles. Inside the center, right on the largest wall, there is a crayon doodle. It is the first drawing that Lily ever made of wheels of hope. Lily is now 7 years old, but she still spends time with Charlie every day. She is no longer just a child with an innocent dream. She has become a symbol of perseverance, of boundless love. People come to the center, not only to meet Charlie, but also to meet the girl who created the miracle. Lily is not a doctor, not a scientist, not an experienced adult, but it is the heart of a 6-year-old girl who has changed the fate of hundreds of dogs and children across America. One day, Lily and her mother received a special phone call. It was a large animal rescue organization from New York. "They want us to help thousands of other dogs," her mother said. "They want to expand Wheels of Hope nationwide." Lily opened her eyes wide, looking at Charlie curled up next to her. He looked back at her, his eyes shining with excitement. She smiled. "Then we'll do it, Charlie." And that's when the journey began. Do you believe in miracles? Miracles don't always come from big things. Sometimes they start with a 6-year-old girl with a crayon, a dream, and unconditional love for her friend. If this story touches your heart, if you believe that every life deserves a second chance, like this story. Because who knows, maybe one day you'll create a miracle for someone too. Charlie's story isn't over yet. And who knows, maybe the sequel will come sooner than you think. If you've made it this far, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Charlie's story, to feel every emotion, and to join us in witnessing an unlikely journey become a reality. There's no shortage of miracles in the world, but sometimes we need a story to remind us that they exist. And it's your support, every view, every comment, every share, that keeps stories like this going, to touch more hearts, to bring more hope. Charlie's story isn't just about a paralyzed dog finding his feet again. It's about the power of perseverance, love, and faith in goodness. It shows us that miracles don't just come from big things. They start with small choices every day. From a 6-year-old girl with an innocent dream, to a mother who believed in her daughter, to a team of experts who dared to try something no one else had ever tried before. They all helped make the impossible possible. And in the same way, each of us has the power to create a miracle in someone's life. And you? How would you rate this story from 0 to 10? Leave your number in the comments. We want to know how you feel, hear your thoughts, and connect with you even more. If this story has touched your heart, If you believe that hope should be spread, please like and share this story so that more people can be inspired. Because who knows, someone out there might need a miracle too. But this is not the last story. Are you curious about the next stories? Inspiring moments, meaningful life lessons, and other miracles are waiting for you ahead. Stay tuned and stay tuned for the next story. Because who knows, you might be the one to create the next miracle.